Well, I got started in 1988, as I was saying earlier, and that was not by choice. Unlike most of you, I was not interested in meditation, spirituality, or any of that. That was not of any interest at all. What happened was my wife fell from like 14 feet, about 3 meters or so, give or take, and she broke her hip. And I was looking around to make it heal faster because the doctor said it'll take 3.5 months before the bone will fuse that she can walk. That's when I got into whatever I can get a hold of, meditation, spirituality, and none of it helped. And then I found this pranic healing. The word pranic healing comes from a prana, which is life force. In Chinese, call it chi. You go to an acupuncturist. In Japanese, it's ki. That's where the word reiki comes from. So I took this class from the Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, who started it, and did a technique on her 3 times a day. In 2 weeks, she was walking. 5 weeks, she was running. And I was doubting it the whole time because I didn't feel anything. Like most people are sensitive. They feel energy. I feel zero. Right. And I'm an engineer by trade, so I was doubting it because there's no touch. And what I usually do with people here, like even on Zoom or Instagram, is I let you feel the energy. And when he was doing it in class, everybody could feel it except this guy. Okay? But you see, being an engineer, it's results that count. So whether I feel it or not, the fact that you have a result that was not there before, there must be a process. And that's when I realized he was teaching us that just because you don't know the process does not mean there isn't one. So what you call miracles are just called miracles for people who do not understand the process or the principles that got you there. And so that's when I learned it. And that was 30 years ago. And 4 years ago, I met Tony. Same thing, not by choice. He was in UK and he was having a lot of the symptoms of his, the mercury poisoning. Yeah. And so one of the people, if you've been to Tony's event, all the special effects that's going on, that's done by one person. Her name is Deborah Collins. She's one of our students for the last 20 years. So she suggested to Sage, hey, maybe Tony might be interested in trying pranic healing. So one of our students, who's also the main instructor in England, his name is Les Whitcroft, fantastic healer, came over to work on him. And the funny part is he was supposed to be there for 1 hour. He ended up being there for 5 hours, ended up healing everybody, including the staff. And so Les says, hey, you're from the US, right? He was telling Tony. So I thought, why don't you look up Master Choa in California? It took us about a year to actually connect because he travels, I travel, I was teaching, and I finally met him and worked on him once. And before you know it, he invited me to talk at his events. So that's how it happened.
It's so amazing. And you guys, Master Choa is so humble. You are meeting one of the most humble, beautiful human beings I've ever met. He is, he's powerful. So listen to what he has to share with us today. Take in his teachings. Go to his website. It's his energy is when he says that you don't need something tangible, you don't. This is what energy is. This is what prana is. And so that's why I know I talk about it a lot to you guys and when I bring in different guests, but that's why I wanted Master Choa to come in and explain what is energy, what is source, what is prana, and how is it that you can't feel it, and how is it that we can use it to move energy through our bodies, and then how we can use it to heal the earth and to heal the world. And it's something that I feel is so important coming from you at Master Choa, just as a master to explain to everybody how this works. How is it that when we meditate together, and when we do prayers together, how is it when we do this, even via Zoom, how is it that we're healing ourselves and healing the world? And so if you could just go into that a little bit and maybe, as we further along, give us some affirmations and mantras. And we have a lot of questions. I mean, my text message, you guys, I'm so sorry. It's blowing up. We can't hear you. We can't log in. But, we'll do it another time too. If you missed it, we'll do it again, hopefully, right? So.
Okay, we'll make it more experiential because, there's so many concepts and everything. First and foremost, you have to understand what energy is. And most people, they talk about energy. They say, one day they wake up, oh, I have energy. Or I met somebody with low energy, high energy. It is so vague that people just think it's a word that people throw out. They don't realize how real it is. So what I want to do first, before I go any further about how it affects our thoughts, our minds, our emotions, and how to overcome this uncertainty that's going on in the economy and COVID-19 and all that stuff, we have to first and foremost understand what energy is.
Yes.
And so I want you guys to just rub your hands together. Just press the center of your palms. This is to stimulate the hand centers. We do this in all of Tony's events. So whether you're 5 people or 15,000 people, same effect.
Yeah.
Okay. So open your hand like this. Okay. Just relax. I'm going to back up a little bit. All right. Keep your tongue the roof of your mouth because there's an energy channel that goes around to increase your energy level. Okay. So just open your palms, close your eyes, put your tongue the roof of your mouth, and put your awareness on your palms. Now, I want you to first exhale. Imagine light coming into your hands. Inhale that light into your hands. Inhale it up to your shoulders. And then exhale it out of your hands again. Again, inhale light coming into your hands. Inhale it into your hands, up to your elbows, all the way up to your head, past your head. Stay there, stay there. And exhale it down and out of your hands again. One more time. Inhale it into your hands, up to your shoulder, to the top of your head, past your head. Exhale down and out. Okay. Now, if you move your hand like this, if you're sensitive, you might feel a sensation in your hand. Okay? Now, put your hand facing each other. We always do this every time we start. See, when you're facing each other, the energy is bouncing back and forth. So just put your hand this way. Now, keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. All I want you to do is imagine that there's a cloud in between your hands. You're going to separate your hands and very gently compress that cloud. Very, very gently. Just literally like touching a cotton ball. Okay, bring it out. Compress it. Bring it out. Compress it. Now, most people, when you do this, you feel a weird sensation in your hand. That's the life force that's building up. But we're not done yet. Open one hand. Take one finger like this. You're going to imagine you have a laser beam of white light coming out of one finger. Okay? I'm going to back up. So you're going to aim like this. And all you're going to do is send this beam of light to your palm and then circulate. Or rotate. Not circulate. Rotate. And then the other way. Okay? I know some people go, what the heck is that? Okay, let's try the other hand. Same thing. Imagine a light. Aim it there. Rotate. And rotate.
I'm getting messages, Master Ko. I'm getting messages. I feel tingle. Tingling, is that normal? Heat. Do some people feel heat? You know.
Okay, shake your hand. Now, we're not done yet. This time, I want you to open your hands like this for me. All right. Now, I have no idea where you guys are at, but it doesn't matter. Just keep your hand like this. I'm here in Southern California. Just open your hand like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see if your audience feels anything in their hand. So if you look at your comment, a lot of people, when I do this, they say, oh, I'm feeling something.
Even message you guys. If you guys feel anything, send messages or hearts and let us know if you feel anything.
So the question is, why is it even possible that you guys would be feeling something when we're not touching? So that's the part I want to make it clear as far as energy. First of all, when you have your hand like this and you're breathing, you're absorbing more life force or prana in your hand. And since your hands, we use it to touch stuff, it's already very sensitive. Okay? Next, when you put your hand like this, you're basically bouncing the energy back and forth, which increases its sensitivity. When you went like this, you're really focusing it. So that's why anybody could do this, especially children. They love playing with energy. Now, to take it one step further, the reason I had you go like this, and I have no idea where you guys are at, and I move my head like this, and most of you felt something, it's because we are swimming in an ocean of life force. Energy is everywhere. So, which begs the question, if energy is everywhere, how could anyone complain of having low energy? So the problem is not there's not enough energy, there's an abundant amount of energy. The question is always, how come it's not going in? It's just like if I throw you in a pool of water, you cannot say you're thirsty if you open your mouth. It's simple as that. So the question is, why does this energy not go in? So here's what happens. Okay, shake your hand. We'll try one more thing.
You guys, like make sure you're doing this at home. You know.
Okay. So. And make sure you're not driving. Okay, go like this. Now it feels about the same, right? Now Put your hand like this. I want you to verbally, okay? Verbally say the word anger to your hand 5 times. Go. Anger, 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 anger.
Anger.
Okay. The other one. Happiness, 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 happiness.
Happiness. Happiness.
Okay. Compare sensations.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sensitive, you notice one is heavy, one is light. Okay, we're not done yet. Now watch. Put your hand like this. Go like that. Now compare.
Okay.
Feels the same. All right. Feels the same. Now the question is why? You see, any feeling, any thought that we have is basically a certain frequency of this life force. So every time you get angry and upset, justified or not, you're generating a vibration that vibrates lower. Every time you're happy, you're generating higher frequency of energy. So just imagine in your body, when you're happy, you're sad, you react to something well or not so well, you keep changing all this energy. So that unevenness causes blockages in the flow of energy. So if a person's always angry and upset, that means the energy field have blotches of these gray clouds. So that means fresh energy cannot come in. Now, if fresh energy cannot go in, then your energy field cannot absorb that energy to feed your body. So that's where disease manifests. So that's on the physical side. On the emotional side, you'll notice when I had you go like this, the one that's felt, you said anger, felt heavier. So what happens is when a person's always angry, upset, always a lot of negative emotion, they're swimming in a gray cloud. And so every time you're close to them, you feel drained and tired, just like your hand feels heavy. So by understanding how energy affects you physically, emotionally, and mentally, you're able to change your outcome by changing your energy. And that is basically what healing is about. When you go see a healer, basically he or she is not healing you. What is happening is they are putting the type of energy into your body, and if the body absorbs it, the body will heal itself faster. If the body doesn't absorb it, then the body does not have the fuel to heal itself. When you take herbs, when you take vitamins, medicine, all these contain different frequencies. And so your body is using this to absorb and then utilize as like a fuel to make the necessary repairs and maintain its health. So that's kind of the geeky way of explaining it.
Yeah, but I love it, and I really appreciate you breaking it down like that, Master Ko, because I do Reiki, and sometimes I have a hard time explaining how it works, especially if it's distal, and the way I teach, with the food and culinary alchemy, is just that you can do this yourself, and you can bring that energy in and channel it. So I really love how you explained it. I feel like it's very approachable, and just you break it down so that people, and I love the experiential part of it where people can do it themselves. So we did have quite a few questions, obviously, about what's going on right now. And someone had sent the message, because I'm getting texts. I'm having people text me and send in messages while we're on here because I can't catch all the comments all the time. But just how do you unblock yourself if you want to receive that energy? So someone said, I don't feel it. How do I feel it? So, just now you sent energy out to everyone, where everyone is, and a few people said, I don't feel it. How do I unblock? So how would they unblock themselves to receive this energy?
Okay, first of all, if you didn't feel much, don't feel bad. Because in my case, when I first started in 1988, for 4 years, I didn't feel anything. And a big part of it is because I'm a very mental person. So even though I felt something, my mind will tell me, oh, it's just the air blowing. Or your mind is so active, you overanalyze. That's one. And number two, if a person's an overachiever, a lot of you like, you go like this, you use so much will that oftentimes your sensitivity drops. So when it comes to energy, and this will go into meditation too, to just kind of make it a little easier for you. Energy is, you have yin and yang. So one is called the will. You're using a willpower. That's when you focus on certain things. When you're trying to get something done, you're focusing. So that's why you notice you're so focused on something, don't hear anybody listen, talking to you. Now, that's using the will. The other was called the sensitivity. Now, some people, they're not very willful. They're very, very sensitive. So the problem with that, if you're so sensitive, you feel everything that's floating around, good and bad, right? So the secret
Yeah.
is knowing how to balance these two, when to use your will and when to back off and feel. So if a person is always very, very willful, you know, a person could be sending you love, could be giving you affection,
Right.
you're blocked from it. Now, a
Right.
person who's too sensitive, you don't get anything done because every little stimulus diverts your attention.
Right.
So the secret, and that's part of meditation, is that's one of the reasons why they call it mindfulness. Mindfulness is actually a combination of two. You pick one topic that's using your will, and then you allow your consciousness to just put your attention there and let that data come to you. So that allows you to balance the two. So the ones who are not feeling anything yet, right now you go, how come I'm not feeling anything? What you do is this. After the event is over, after we finish with this, you just relax. When you're watching TV or whatever, you just start doing this, start doing this. You will start feeling because you're not trying. You heard the saying, the harder you try, the less you feel. Because the act of trying uses your will. Trying to feel energy is letting the data come to you.
Yeah.
All right? So I hope that helps. Now, one quick thing. You mentioned about Reiki. The word Reiki, if you write it in Chinese characters, same thing as Japanese characters, actually it's Ling Qi, which is spiritual energy or soul energy. And I'm sharing that with you is because most of the time people don't realize, oh, I'm doing Reiki. They think it's this universal life force with no spiritual component. And so for them, it's just like, oh, it's just like water and whatever. They don't realize it actually has a spiritual component. So the more spiritual you are, the more you can harness this universal life force.
Yes.
And spirituality is not religion. Two different things. Religion sees the differences. Spirituality sees the similarity. That's why we have a saying, religion divides, spirituality unites. And so if you want to be a good healer, a healer is basically a good conduit, a pipeline. So to make it a little easier for most of you to understand, you heard of people who they heal other people and they get drained. You heard of people, they get sick, they get drained.
Yes.
So the way my teacher explained it is something like this. There's two approaches. One is using a battery, one is using a water pump. So a lot of people, they subconsciously, they're so loving, they want to help someone. So when somebody's sick, they put their hands on them, oh, let me help you, and so on and so on. So they transfer their life force to the other person, so the other person feels better.
Yeah, I've done that.
So they get drained, okay?
Yeah.
That's traditional method. That's why martial artists, they go, and then they put a lot of energy, and then you need energy, they discharge. So they have to go back and recharge. Now in pranic healing, we use what is called the water pump technique. The water pump technique is if the house is on fire by the sea, all you gotta do is grab a big enough pump, take the seawater, keep pumping it in. As long as there's seawater, you'll be able to put out the fire. So in the same manner, if you do meditation, you do proper technique, you don't need 20, 30 years of practice. If you know the technique, you can pump into your system and you can pump it to other people. So I'm going to guide you guys in a very simple technique to just kind of illustrate this to you. So you have some idea what it means to receive and give. Because most people think, oh, I'm such a giver. Yeah, here's the problem. If you give and you don't receive, you get sucked dry.
Yep.
There has to be giving and receiving. Okay, shake your hands. So this is what we do in pranic healing. Press the center of your palms again. Press and press. Okay? Now, most people have a dominant hand and non-dominant hand. You can use either one, but for most of you, for the sake of time, open your non-dominant hand. So if I'm right-handed, my left hand, open it like this. Okay? Now, just open. Just inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you're sensitive, you might feel a certain pressure or sensation. Now, I'm going to stand a little further because of the camera so you guys can see. So this is receiving. I'm going to raise my other hand and go this way. This is giving. So this is to receive. This is to give. So as long as I'm receiving, I can pump energy out indefinitely. Make sense? Now, the problem with people is like this. Oh, let me heal you. So if they're not having an input, they're using their own battery. Now, when people go to church and they do laying on of hands, they're actually doing the same thing. The difference is, instead of this being the input, this is the input. So when they're praying, a massive amount of spiritual energy comes in and they lay hands on the sick. So the process of healing is nothing more than a person consciously or subconsciously bringing a certain type of fuel and passing on to someone so the body can heal itself faster. Now, the challenge there is if that person does not know how to regenerate, they get drained. So that's part one. Now, there's a part two. Am I talking too long, or I can?
No, this is so good. This is invaluable. This is, I mean, I'm learning from you, Master Ko, and I know so much of this already, and still, it's just your words really resonate, and I can just tell from the text messages that I'm getting and the comments are coming in, this is really valuable. I'm going to have to scroll back and go back to some of these questions that people had about your teaching. So you're so incredible.
Anyway, this is not mine. I just learned it from my teacher. Anyway, so that's a part of giving energy. However, most people have noticed that, okay, you're giving healing energy to someone. How come sometimes when you work on someone, they actually get worse, then get better? Okay, that's called a radical reaction, a healing crisis. A big part of it is something like this. Ask yourself a simple question. Is if energy is everywhere, how is it possible for someone to have low energy? That's question one. Question two, if they have blockages, how come the blockages do not just disperse, allowing fresh life force to go in? Okay, that's because you have energy centers. They are called chakras. I think some of you, most of you who are listening know this. You have
and I talk about chakras a lot. So
okay, you have 11 of them, not 7. 7 is what most people know. That's because it's good. It's easy for people to remember. 7 chakras, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 notes of music, 7 glands. It's something that's used by a lot of people, but it's not complete. You have at least 11 and hundreds of even smaller ones. Anyway, here's my point. You have these energy centers that absorb life force. Now, in between these energy centers or chakras are energy channels. They're called meridians. That's why when you go to an acupuncturist, they stick a needle in you and start wiggling it. It's to allow better energy flow in the meridians. And here's the critical part. And this is the part I want to get, let me see. Okay, let me show you this. All right. In electrical engineering, they say if you have a circuit, light bulb, battery, they have what's called the right-hand rule. Right-hand rule says, I use my right hand, my thumb, the direction of my thumb represents the direction of the current. This is the direction of the magnetic field that's produced. Now, you go, so what? If you go to an acupuncturist, when they're putting a needle in your body, if they want to put energy into your body, they go clockwise. If they want to take energy out of your body, they go counterclockwise. So that's why you watch people, sometimes when they're healing, their hands move.
Yes.
Okay? Now, you ask them what they're doing. Most people don't know because they're just flowing with the energy. Or some of you, when you're meditating, you're like this.
Yeah.
Yeah? But you have no clue what the heck you're doing.
Right.
All of it has to do with the flow of energy. That's why my point is this. If you understand and if you believe that electrical current going through a piece of wire will always produce a magnetic field, why is it so hard to believe that life force or chi or current going through your body will also not produce a human electromagnetic field? That human electromagnetic field is what you call the aura. Now, let's put the whole thing together. How do I explain this? You have a physical body. You have this life force that's floating in the universe that's intangible. You need an interface in order for that intangible something to be absorbed by your body. That interface is what you call your energy body, which consists of your aura, your chakras, and energy systems. Now, go back to what we were saying earlier. The fact that somebody has disease or disorder, that means this life force is not able to flow properly. So if there's a block in that flow, okay, listen to this carefully. If you just put energy in, it's possible that there's a block that you shove it deeper. So when you shove it deeper, the body will try to release it, having certain reactions like diarrhea, sweating, flu-like symptoms, vomiting. So the smart thing to do, which a lot of people don't realize, is this. Before you put all that healthy life force in, you want to first remove the blockage out of the system ahead of time. That's why you'll notice in many traditions, for example, in the Native American tradition, you see them use a feather. Okay? You go to India, a lot of the grandmas and grandpas, if the children are sick, they actually take a broom and start sweeping them down. In the Philippines, some of the shamans, they use a banana leaf, they do a ritual, they chant, they go like this. Now, some of you who use sage, like the smoke, you say, oh, I want to purify a lot of negative energy. So you start doing this. Guess what you're doing? You're cleansing. So in pranic healing, what separates pranic healing in, compared to other traditions is we're crazy because we focus a lot on cleansing. Like when I work on someone, I probably spend 70% of the entire session removing blockages. Because you think about it, if you're already swimming in an ocean of energy, just every time you remove a block, you create space for the fresh life force to go in. So what I'm gonna teach you guys now. I hope you guys can practice, because I always like to follow theory with practice. Otherwise, anybody can say anything.
Right.
Okay? So if you can all sit or standing, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you put your hand like this, because I know one of the questions is how do you remove negativity? So this is the easier way to do it. First of all, you don't remove negativity by putting good energy. Because if the block is still there, the good energy will shove it deeper and it will come out with a vengeance. Okay? So step one, imagine a violet fire in front of you. Normally we use salt water. Just visualize a violet fire. Okay, put your hand like this. Imagine you have a beautiful violet glove.
Okay.
Okay? Right hand like this. We actually teach this in the pranic psychotherapy class. They're a little more advanced, but I hope you guys don't get fried. Okay, put your hand like this. Just imagine a violet light around your hand. Make it super bright. Keep your tongue in your palate. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Hold it. Visualize your gloves getting brighter. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. As you hold, visualize your gloves getting super bright. Exhale. All right, now, look at me. I'm going to back up so you guys can see. You're just going to, it's just like scraping. You're just going to, like a squeegee, go like this. Imagine the violet light removing any gray clouds out of your head. Your face, I'm going to set an angle. The throat area, imagine the violet light going in. Your chest. Okay, I'm standing, so I'm just going to keep going. Just imagine the violet light going down your abdominal area. Down to your hips, to your knees, all the way down to the feet. Okay, hold it like this. Just like imagine you're gathering all the gray clouds, hold it like that. If you're sensitive, you notice it's a little thick or heavy. Okay, look at the violet fire, throw it into the fire. Okay, so we do the middle. Now we're going to clean the left side. So just imagine your violet glove, go like this. Just keep the violet light flowing in your hands, like a squeegee. Going like this, clean your chest, down the side of your hip, go all the way down your feet, dump it in the violet fire. The right side, okay, whichever side you're doing. Okay, violet gloves, clean like this. Just imagine the violet gloves removing the gray clouds, your chest, liver, down, dump it into the violet fire. Okay, now we're going to clean our backs. Now the question is, how do you clean your back? You heard the saying, energy follows thought, or energy follows where you put your attention. So the way you do it is like this. You imagine you're looking at your own back. Okay, now here's the problem. A lot of books on healing and meditation say you have to see things clearly. But what if you can't visualize? You see, the secret is not seeing things clearly. The secret is having clear intention. So the way you do it is, if you cannot visualize your back well, which most of us can, I don't know what my back looks like. You just visualize kind of what your back looks like or what it could look like. And here's the secret. Say your name in your mind. So as you say your name in your mind, you clarify the intention that this is my back. Make sense? Okay. So visualize your back, say your name in your mind, visualize your violet light. Now just imagine you're doing this to someone, clean the back of their head, remove any gray clouds like this, mid back, a lot of resentment stored in the mid back, lower back, dump it into the violet fire. Go. Left side. Okay, so you clean this area here. Okay, so just go like this and throw. And then the right side. All right, throw in the fire. Now, follow me, go like this. Like one hand clean the other. Okay, now visualize the fire going away. Okay, before we do this, now if you go put your hand like this, some of you might feel a slight heaviness or thickness. So that's what you call disease or dirty energy. Now, what we usually do, every time I work on people, after I'm done, I usually go to the sink, grab some salt, okay, and water, and rub it like this. See, if you're Roman Catholic, that's what holy water is. Holy water is water, salt, and the priest pray on top of it. And a lot of you already know, to remove negativity, one of the easiest things to do is take a salt water bath and put like 20, 30 drops of lavender oil. That has cleansing effect. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
So let's do this again. Just clean your hands like this with violet light. Throw it into violet fire. Or there's a shortcut. Normally, Serena, I'm sure you've seen me a lot of times when I'm working sessions on the Tony's participants. I usually have a sprayer with me.
Yes.
And this usually has alcohol.
Me too.
And with lavender oil. So when you go like this, it breaks it up.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, what if you're traveling? What if you're traveling and you don't have anything to clean with? This is the easier way to do it. So let's say you have to work on someone, and we teach this in the classes, by the way. I'm just giving you the super shortened version. One of the ways to quickly clean your hands is to verbally chant Om. Just not very loud so they don't call security. So you just go like this. Om. When you chant Om, the Om has cleansing effect. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, I know we only have like 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's okay with you, is it?
Yeah, it's up to you. We can go a tiny bit longer since we started late. So it's whatever your schedule is. So
okay.
Instagram may kick us off. So it's up to you. We have about 15. We probably actually have closer to 20 or 24 because we jumped on late. So whatever it is that you have to do. But for you guys, it seems like a lot of you guys have stayed on after joining us. Master Choa is just teaching us how to cleanse, how to release and not push down negative energy so that we can bring in the light. So please stay. Someone says please stay. So I had someone ask about green light, which I would love if you could answer that too, because I was taught by my Reiki master green light as well. So is there a difference between the green and the violet?
Okay. So life force, chi or prana in the environment is essentially white light. Okay? Now, the reason that most healers use white light, because you cannot screw it up. When you project white to the body, your chakras will take the color of white, break it up, and absorb the color that the body needs. Okay? Now, however, each color has a particular property and frequency. For example, we'll just do a quick one. I know this a lot of you are new, but I just want to make this more experiential. Okay, I want you to open one hand like this. I'll back up like this. Take this hand. I want you to imagine red light from the top hand projecting to the bottom hand. So just project red from top to bottom. Project red.
Right.
Okay? So like this hand is like a spotlight projecting red light.
Okay.
All right. Now, I want you to note how that red light feels to your bottom hand. Now, a lot of people, when you do this, again, I have to kind of speed this up. Most people would feel like a warm sensation.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, go like this. Okay? Now, project blue light. Like a blue cooling light.
Cooling.
Okay, go like this. Last one. Gold. Just imagine golden light.
Okay.
All right, go like this. Now, again, due to time, I'm making this super short. Each color has a certain frequency. So you notice when you projected red, it felt warm. So when red energy goes to the body, if a part of your body is weak or constricted, the red energy will dilate it, allowing more energy flow, strengthening the body. You notice when you projected blue, it was cooling. So every time the body has inflammation, the blue light will cool the inflammation down. What's my point? Every color has a frequency and a certain purpose. The color green has a chopping and cleansing effect. That's why if you eat Japanese food, you use wasabi with a raw fish because it cleanses the fish. When you're using sage or sandalwood to clean the place, that has a lot of green energy also. That has cleansing effect. Now, the color violet also has cleansing on a different level. If you're Catholic, you remember when you go to confession, you go to a little box and emotionally vomit on your priest. That one. Right? Now, what is protecting the priest from everybody unloading? You will notice he's always wearing a purple scarf around his neck. Okay? That purple scarf vibrates with violet light. So as soon as he puts it on, his aura turns violet. That becomes his shield. So the color violet cleanses, not like green. It cleanses because it disintegrates negative thoughts and negative emotion. Okay? So every color has a frequency. So you were asking earlier, green. Green can be used for cleansing, for more physical stuff. Violet is more for emotional, psychological stuff. That's why some of you, when you're meditating, you see violet light. And then afterwards, you feel very calm. Because the violet light was generated by your crown, and it was breaking up a lot of the negative thoughts and emotions that we created or somebody injected into our energy field. And since we had limited time, I used violet because a lot of you were asking, how do you remove negativity? Green would not work as well as violet.
That's why, you guys. That's a good question. I'm glad whoever asked that. That was great. So that was really helpful. And I'm glad you also shared, Master Ko, about the healing crisis, because that comes up quite a bit, and people don't understand that it doesn't necessarily mean that don't stop. You have to work that through and do it in a proper way, but it doesn't mean that energy work doesn't work.
You have to do more cleansing. Yeah, you have to do more detoxifying cleansing. Correct.
Yeah, it just means to do more. You're good on time. We have some more questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me just pull this up. Oh yes. So some of the people had already gone onto your Instagram after we had shared, and they wanted to know, with the meditations that you share, do they do it once a day? Twice a day?
Once a day is good. If you can do once a day, every day, I mean, if you try just for like 4 days in a row or 5 days in a row, you notice your emotions and thoughts will be completely different. Because a lot of people don't realize that meditation is not just for being quiet and still. Meditation by itself has a strong cleansing effect. So you will notice when we do our meditation, when you're done, most people are like, they're spacing out. The mind is so quiet. That's because a lot of the negative energy was flushed out. So if you do that every single day, you'll notice a huge difference.
Yes. And then some people are asking about using the visualization of the light for the physical. So a couple of people had asked about inflammation. If they can visualize that blue light in an area that they're inflamed, let's say their gut or maybe a physical pain, can they do that as well?
They can. Now, here's my concern. My concern is like, you're nitpicking, use this, or that. I'm giving you the super simplified version. So the better way to do it, let's say some of you have inflammation or whatever ailment. As I said before, you cannot mess up with white.
Right.
I mean, even if you're completely messing it up, it won't harm you. So I would recommend, since most of you are new, unless you've already studied, is, you remember the technique we did like this earlier? You start with white light. Okay? Then if there's a part of your body that needs, inflammation, whatever, you can try green, you can try violet. Even the cleaning alone, without putting energy in, most of you will feel a relief already. And if you want to know more, I would recommend go to whoever your area is, find a pranic healing class, or try to get a book on it.
Or go to Master Ko's site.
And we have a bookstore too.
He has everything.
I forgot about that.
He has everything. There were several questions about affirmations or mantras that you recommend, especially for what we're going through right now. There's obviously fear around the pandemic and COVID. Now there's other fears. There's confusion, there's shame, there's social injustice, there's a whole spectrum of emotions that are quite heightened. And so, do you have any mantras or affirmations that you can share before you go that people can repeat, to themselves while they're doing?
Okay, why don't we do this then? Why don't we guide you in the meditation, a short one, and then at the same time we'll chant the mantra with it, and then so it'll be one package because that way you don't have to pick and choose. All right.
Okay.
So close your eyes.
Thank you. Okay,
I
you
hope you
guys
guys can hear.
close your eyes. Okay.
Close your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and all you're gonna do is silently follow. Okay. Just keep your tongue on your palate. That's important to keep energy flow.
Mm-hmm.
Now focus on your crown and silently repeat, I am that I am. I am not the body, not the emotions, not the thoughts. I am the soul, the spiritual self, a being of pure energy and light. I am that, a being of light. Just leave your attention on your crown. Just stay there. Now allow your consciousness, your attention to just drift above your head like a balloon to a brilliant light above your head. Just imagine there's a brilliant light above your head. Look at that light. Say, I am the spiritual self. I am the soul. I am that. That I am. Now just look at that light. Allow your attention to just drift higher and higher, closer and closer, and just allow your attention to just enter that light and stay there. You're completely inside that brilliant light. Just allow your awareness to just melt deeper and deeper into that light. Just stay there. Now there's a mantra called Om Mani Padme Hum that awakens the love within you. So allow yourself to just stay in that brilliant light and just listen and experience. Om Mani Padme Hum. Just be still. Om Mani Padme Hum. You are now swimming in brilliant light. You're immersed in an ocean of love. Allow your awareness and your consciousness to melt deeper and deeper into that golden light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Be still and let go. Now, any sound, any noise you hear will allow you to just simply be the light. Mani Padme Hum. Let go. I am the self. The self am I. I am that self. That self am I. I am that. That I am. So it is. Gently, very slowly, come back. Just move your fingers, move your feet a little bit. Slowly come back to your normal waking consciousness. And take your time. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You guys okay?
Wow. That was, wow. Wow. Yeah. Look at all the hearts. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so powerful. So powerful. You guys are so blessed. I'm losing my words right now because I'm just in this place of peace and so calm. Dr. Master Ko, that was just beautiful.
Thank you. I hope everybody's experiencing. They can join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing 2 sessions, 10 a.m., 6 p.m. So they can join us. We want to put everybody on on a structure, because a lot of times people just, and if I can leave you a message for everyone, it's something like this. We have a tendency to put our focus on things that we can touch, things that are material. Nothing wrong with it. That's what sustains our livelihood. The problem is everything that you can touch will one day disappear when you leave your body. So in other words, we put so much tension on everything we touch, and yet the things that are permanently ours, the love in our hearts, our spiritual development, our clarity, our wisdom, the lessons we learn, those are ours. Yet we only spend time with those things, those spiritual things, when we have extra time or when crisis happens, right? So if you were to give yourself a schedule, like every single day, I'm going to devote 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, to just be quiet, to focus on things that are permanent, your life will change dramatically. And that's why when we have these meditations online, at least when you're following, you don't realize by the time you're done with 2-3 weeks, you go, wow, how come I have so much clarity? All I did was spend 15-20 minutes with all these people and I feel better.
Yeah.
Now, put yourself on a schedule. Like a lot of you go on a schedule to go work out, go on a schedule to, do whatever. Give yourself a schedule to do things that are permanently yours. And that is your spiritual practice.
It's such a powerful, Master Ko, that's just such a today was so powerful, and that's just such a powerful reminder. And you guys, you have it within yourselves, you know, to empower yourselves, to heal, and to help continue to spread this light. So I really encourage you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, join Master Co. I'll be there as well, join him live. And you'll do it again, right, at 6 p.m. as well. And if you go to Master Co's Instagram and also in his Facebook, he's sharing all these meditations that are just so powerful. So it's a good start to your practice if you don't already yet have a practice. And thank you so much. We're so many messages of gratitude, Master Co.
Thank you
so much. And there's even more coming in. But what I'll do is I'll send you know them towards your Instagram, and maybe you can answer them in your comments. You guys keep sending me messages. I'll try and best answer them, and I'll share all the links for Master Co's teachings. You know, he has an amazing website and all kinds of resources. He teaches classes. If you want to learn more, please go and check out all things Master Co. and just
thank you.
feed your soul.
I'll do my best. Thank you.
So thank you guys so much. And thank you again for being patient with the technical things and staying with us, joining us again. So much love to all of you, and so much love and gratitude to Master Co. I just
thank you all. Thank you for
words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take good care.
All right. Okay. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
okay. Bye bye.